This is Abe Friedtanzer from Awards Buzz. Very excited to be speaking with Zahn McClarnon about Dark Winds. How are you, Zahn?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Good. How are you feeling going into season three of this show? Are you surprised that the show has done so well over the years? And what do you think audiences should expect for this season?
Yeah, I mean, I'm extremely fortunate and very grateful that we're going into a fourth season. It's an actor's dream. Obviously, I've been doing this for a while, few years, and to be on a long-standing television show is I have to pinch myself every day. I feel very fortunate.
If there are people who are fans of yours who don't yet know anything about the show, would you recommend starting at the beginning, or is it okay to sort of just jump in with season three?
I mean, yeah, I would recommend to start at the beginning, but I think that each one of these seasons are standalone seasons and they follow, Tony Hillerman books. So if you're familiar with the books, you can pick up on a lot of things. So, but I think that start to finish, it's a good watch. And if you want to start in season three, you'll be fine. You can always go back and on AMC Plus, you can watch season one and two.
Well, I know from having watched some of season three that it starts from a pretty sort of dark place and then goes back to fill in a lot more. I'm always intrigued by the sort of the supernatural elements on this show that aren't
Yeah.
always explained, but definitely this like haunting nature to it. What is it like to film those scenes?
Well, we have great cultural consultants first off, and we try to be as respectful um, to the Navajo culture and to represent the Navajo culture in a good way and honor the culture. As far as this season, we're dealing with a kind of a creation story of the Navajo, or a part of the creation story, which is a Yaitso, which a Yaitso is basically a general term for bad energy. And we try to make sure we're navigating around, not showing too much of the mysticism of the culture, the spirituality of the culture, and honoring it as much as we possibly can. So we have great cultural consultants, Manny Wheeler and Jennifer Wheeler, and we've got a great writing room, native writing room, as well as Navajo directors for season three, a Navajo director for season three, native directors. Uh, there's 6 out of 8 of the episodes, 5 out of 8 of the episodes are shot by native directors. So we're always trying to honor the culture in that way and show it in a positive light.
Absolutely. You also have some great guest stars you get to work with in the season, starting with Jenna Elfman in the first episode. What is it like getting to work with her? And she definitely changes, I think, the vibe of a lot of those scenes.
Jenna's obviously a pro. She's wonderful to work with. I found myself in a few scenes just staring and, oh, shoot, I got a line I have to say right here. She's just amazing to watch her work. And that's one of the things I love about Dark Winds is I'm learning so much about the culture of the Dene people, the Navajo people, but I'm also learning from these pros that I've looked up to and respected my whole career, and I've pinched myself being in scenes with them. It's great.
It's also still fun to see the show set, in the past, that there's definitely a certain, there's kind of costume and just sort of the backdrops and everything. What is it like working in that period setting?
It's great. I mean, again, we have great cultural advisors on the set, and we everything goes through these cultural advisors as far as props and hair and the way people dressed in the 1970s on the reservation. So it's a lot of fun to go back in time, even though I was alive in 1972. I was quite a young man. I was 6 years old, but I remember it pretty clearly, and I was on the reservation in Montana at that time period. So, seeing some of the clothing and props, so on and so forth, take me back to that time period in my life when I was a kid.
Well, I know I've seen you for a number of years in different projects, but the one that I most closely associate you with, besides this one, is Longmire. And that's
Yep.
a show where we're talking about, age. I think I'm probably in the very, very younger demographic for that show, which skewed a lot older. But I feel like that was, you know, it's very different from Dark Winds, but it also has some overlap just in terms of the setting and just sometimes the mood. Do you see a connective tissue between those two shows at all?
Oh, sure. I mean, guess what? We shoot them both in Santa Fe. So a lot of the backdrops you see on Longmire, you're going to probably see in Dark Woods. Although we actually on Longmire, we didn't shoot as much. We're north of Santa Fe, about 15 minutes on the Chisuke Pueblo. So we have our own kind of landscape up there compared to what the locations we used in Longmire. But yeah, there's a lot of similarity. I mean, it's Longmire is a contemporary kind of a Western setting with Walt Longmire as the sheriff, and now you have the Western setting, but with a Navajo slant. Seeing it from the perspective of Navajo people in the reservation. Both very much so Westerns. I think Dark Winds is more of a mystery noir, and Longmire was more of a kind of a day-to-day, uh, trying to find the bad guy. Both great shows to be a part of. Enjoyed my time on Longmire. Still friends with everybody, and I certainly enjoyed being on Dark Winds and the new family I have.
I know you were also part of Reservation Dogs, which has been a great, instance of native representation and storytelling. Do you feel like there are other shows out there and films that are really doing this the right way these days?
Yeah, for sure. Native representation on TV and film has changed quite a bit in the last decade with shows like Dark Winds and Reservation Dogs and Rutherford Falls. And I think we're on a good path. I think we have a ways to go, but we're finally getting our own voice. We've got native writers, native directors, native producers, and uh, that's never been done before. In the history I've been in the business. So that's a positive thing, and I'm grateful that and fortunate to be a part of that this generation of native representation.
As you do interviews and people ask you about this project and your past projects, is there anything from, your resume that you're particularly proud of that people just don't bring up enough and you wish they asked you about more?
No, I think the main ones are get brought up quite a bit. No, I'm again repeating myself, but I'm really a fortunate human being in these days. I've pinched myself every day just to be a part of this business and to be a working actor.
Well, I'm also always curious, people I talk to, what are you watching? What have you seen recently on television that's really impressing you?
Well, right now I'm not I haven't turned the TV on in a couple of weeks because I have been working quite a bit, but I'm on the fourth episode, I think, of Severance, which I enjoy very much. I think Ben Stiller is he's an amazing director, amazing filmmaker, and love to work with him one day.
I know that season three is launching now. Season four is already happening. Do you have other projects lined up for in between those two?
No, not. I mean, we're pre-production season four right now, and that's going to keep me quite busy for the next 4 or 5 months. So yeah, I've got some opportunities in the future, and we'll see if they pan out.
Can you give a spoiler-free tonal preview of season four as compared with season three?
I can't. I really haven't seen. I've only seen a couple scripts, so it's certainly going to be an exciting season, and I know people will enjoy it. So I wish I could give you more, but I'm in the dark too right now. We're just starting pre-production.
There's plenty of time. Thank you so much, John. It was a pleasure to meet with you, and good luck with everything.
Thanks, Abe. Appreciate your time.